Licensure Examination for teachers. Subject: Social Sciences. General Education, for both elementary and secondary. Topic: Philippine Government and the new Constitution with Human Rights. Question number 1. Under the 1987 Philippine Constitution, what is the fundamental duty of the government? A. To protect the environment and natural resources. B. To serve and protect the people. C. To promote social justice and human dignity. D. To maintain an independent foreign policy. Correct answer: B. To serve and protect the people. Why B is correct? This is stated explicitly in Article 2, Section 4, Declaration of Principles and State Policies. The very reason for the government's existence is the welfare and security of its citizens. Why the wrong answers are wrong: A, C, and D. These are all important state policies or goals, also found in Article 2, but they are derived from and secondary to the fundamental duty to serve and protect the people. Edge knowledge. In the context of the Constitution, the word fundamental duty points to the relationship between the state and the citizen. The state, government, exists for the citizen. Always prioritize the direct statement of purpose over derived goals. Question number 2. Which power of the state enables the government to enact laws and make rules for the welfare and safety of its inhabitants? A. Power of taxation. B. Power of eminent domain. C. Police power. D. People power. Correct answer: C. Police power. Why C is correct? Police power is the inherent power of the state to regulate liberty and property in the interest of the general welfare. It is the most comprehensive, indispensable, and least limitable of the three powers. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Power of taxation. The power to raise revenue to support the government. B. Power of eminent domain. The power to take private property for public use upon payment of just compensation. D. People power. A socio-political movement, not an inherent power of the state as a sovereign entity. Edge knowledge. The three inherent powers are a staple-let question. Police power is the welfare power, laws, rules, regulations. If the question is about money, it's taxation. If it's about land for public use, it's eminent domain. Question number 3. The provision "no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law" is found in which section of the Bill of Rights? A. Section 1. B. Section 4. C. Section 13. D. Section 17. Correct answer: A. Section 1. Why A is correct? Article 3, Section 1 is arguably the most fundamental provision of the Bill of Rights. It enshrines the Due Process Clause and the Equal Protection Clause, serving as the bedrock for all other rights. Why the wrong answers are wrong? B. Section 4. Deals with the freedom of speech, expression, and the press. C. Section 13. Deals with the right to bail. D. Section 17. Deals with the right against self-incrimination. Edge knowledge. In the Bill of Rights, Article 3, Section 1 is the Golden Rule. It protects the three essential elements: life, liberty, property, through due process. Always remember that the most fundamental rights usually occupy the first section. Question number 4. If the President vetoes a bill passed by Congress, what fraction of the entire membership of both houses of Congress, the Senate and the House of Representatives, voting separately, is required to overturn the veto? A. Majority vote. B. 2/3 vote. C. 3/4 vote. D. Simple majority in the Senate and 2/3 in the House. Correct answer: B. 2/3 vote. Why B is correct? Article 6, Section 27 specifies that the President's veto may be overridden by a vote of 2/3 of all the members of each House. This mechanism ensures checks and balances. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Majority vote. A simple majority is only sufficient to pass a regular bill, not to override a presidential veto. C. 3/4 vote. This is typically required for amending or revising the Constitution, Constituent Assembly, not for overriding a veto. D. Simple majority in the Senate and 2/3 in the House. The requirement is strictly 2/3 in both houses. Edge knowledge. Veto's veto override is a power check on the executive. Because it counteracts the president's authority, it requires a supermajority. The Constitution almost always uses the two-thirds supermajority for crucial decisions like treaty concurrence, suspension of habeas corpus, impeachment conviction, and veto overrides. Question number 5. The judicial power of the courts, as defined in the Constitution, includes the duty to settle actual controversies and to determine whether there has been a grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excessive jurisdiction on the part of any branch or instrumentality of the government. This latter duty is known as A. Executive review, B. Legislative oversight, C. Judicial review, D. Administrative adjudication. Correct answer. C. Judicial review. Why C is correct? Judicial review is the power of the Supreme Court to interpret the Constitution and declare any law, treaty, order, or regulation unconstitutional. The grave abuse of discretion clause in Article 8, Section 1, Paragraph 2 solidified the Supreme Court's mandate to check the other branches, especially during times of martial rule or executive overreach. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Executive review, not a formal constitutional term. B. Legislative oversight, the Congress's power to review and monitor the actions of the executive agencies. D. Administrative adjudication, decisions made by quasi-judicial bodies, like the National Labor Relations Commission, not the Supreme Court's constitutional duty. Edge knowledge. The phrase grave abuse of discretion in the Constitution is the direct operational definition of judicial review specifically given to the Supreme Court after the 1986 EDSA revolution, making it a critical power check. Question number 6. Under the principle of separation of powers, which government branch is primarily tasked with the execution and enforcement of laws? A. Legislative branch, B. Judicial branch, C. Executive branch, D. Constitutional commissions. Correct answer. C. Executive branch. Why C is correct? The executive branch, headed by the President, is tasked with the implementation and enforcement of the laws created by the legislature. This is the power of execution. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Legislative branch, Congress, the power to enact, make laws. B. Judicial branch, courts, the power to interpret and apply laws. D. Constitutional commissions. They have specialized functions, e.g., auditing, civil service, elections, but not the primary law execution function. Edge knowledge. Associate the branches with their verbs. Legislative equals make laws, executive equals execute, implement laws, judicial equals interpret laws. Question number 7. A Philippine treaty with another country is ratified by the President. What body must concur with this treaty for it to be valid and effective? A. A simple majority of the House of Representatives. B. At least two-thirds of all members of the Senate. C. A majority of the entire Congress, Senate and House voting jointly. D. The Supreme Court through judicial review. Correct answer. B. At least two-thirds of all members of the Senate. Why B is correct? Article 7, Section 21 states that no treaty or international agreement shall be valid and effective unless concurred in by at least two-thirds of all the members of the Senate. This is a crucial check on the executive's foreign policy powers. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A and C. The House of Representatives does not participate in treaty concurrence. This power belongs exclusively to the Senate. D. The Supreme Court. The SC only gets involved if the treaty's constitutionality is questioned, not for ratification. Edge knowledge. Treaties involve foreign affairs and are thus highly sensitive. Like the veto override, question 4, concurrence requires a supermajority, two-thirds, and is a power exclusive to the Senate. Memorize the Senate's exclusive powers, treaty concurrence and trial of impeachment cases. Question number 8. Which of the following rights is not part of the political rights of citizens? A. Right to vote, suffrage. B. Right to petition the government. C. Right to hold public office. D. Right against involuntary servitude. Correct answer. D. Right against involuntary servitude. Why D is correct? The right against involuntary servitude, slavery, is a civil right, Article 3, Section 18, which protects a person's liberty against government intrusion. Political rights are those that enable a citizen to participate in the establishment or administration of the government. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A, B, and C. These directly involve the citizens' ability to participate in the governing process, electing officials, demanding action, and serving in office. Hence, they are political rights. Edge knowledge. Political equals power, participation, choosing or being the government. Civil equals protection, rights against government, state action, like life, liberty, due process, and freedom from slavery. Question number 9. The writ used by the Supreme Court to protect a citizen's right to life, liberty, and security from acts of enforced disappearance is called A. Writ of habeas corpus. B. Writ of amparo. C. Writ of mandamus. D. Writ of calicaution. Correct answer. B. Writ of amparo. Why B is correct? The writ of amparo, literally meaning protection, is a remedy available to any person whose right to life, liberty, or security is violated or threatened with violation by an unlawful act or omission of a public official or private individual, particularly covering threats like enforced disappearance. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Writ of habeas corpus, used to compel the production of a person detained and determine the legality of their detention. C. Writ of mandamus, used to compel a public official to perform a duty required by law. D. Writ of calicaution, used for environmental protection, where the environmental damage affects the life, health, or property of inhabitants in 2 or more cities or provinces. Edge knowledge. The writ of amparo and the writ of habeas data are the new special writs developed by the Philippine Supreme Court to address modern human rights violations, like disappearances and data privacy, making them highly relevant to contemporary issues and therefore high-priority lead questions. Question number 10. The state shall promote social justice in all phases of national development. According to the Supreme Court, what does social justice primarily mean in the context of the Philippine Constitution? A. Absolute equality for everyone. B. Protection for the rich from the poor. C. The equalization of economic and social forces by the state. D. The preferential treatment of the privileged few. Correct answer. C. The equalization of economic and social forces by the state. Why C is correct? Social justice, as often defined by former Supreme Court Justice Laurel and reiterated in numerous SC cases, means the equalization of economic and social forces so that life is more bearable for the underprivileged. It's about providing opportunities and correcting existing imbalances. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Absolute equality. Social justice does not mean absolute equality, which is impractical, but rather the equality of opportunity and equity, fairness, in treatment. B and D. These are contrary to the definition. Social justice aims to protect the disadvantaged, not the rich or privileged. Edge knowledge. Social justice is primarily the protection of the underdog. It is about using the power of the state to redress the imbalance between the powerful and the powerless. If an option talks about protecting the underprivileged, it's likely the correct answer for social justice. If this video gave you an edge, sharpen that like button and subscribe to stay ahead.